night, everyone, or good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the
That's
Drill and the
right.
Shabian, a podcast designed to inform, inspire, and impact so that you can be your best self. I am your host, Tikea the Shabin, alongside Delroy the Dread.
Yeah, good night,
And
everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time of day you're listening to us. Thanks for joining us this evening. Well, today. Thanks for joining us today.
yes, our topic today will be road safety. I think it's something that's probably long overdue to talk about because it's something that a very serious thing that we're dealing with right now. Something that's really that should have been long addressed by the government and whatnot, but we continue to see what a lack of we
Road
continue to
awareness, I would say.
yeah, lack of awareness and as well as not enforcing the law. We continue to see
Right.
what that is doing to the country on a whole. Okay,
True.
so in terms of road safety, I first want to say that I have been tracking what has been going on for the year so far,
Uh-huh.
and we probably have at least seven or so accidents so far for the year,
For the year.
with
Right.
at least two or three resulting in death.
Uh,
Right. So that's
it seems like remember when we did our New Year's episode, we spoke about there being less road incidents and less death this year. We were asking for that. It seems 2025 heard us and they decided, you know what, 2024 I can do better than you. I can, and the year started off with uh, several serious road incidents, and like you said, it's an issue that has been overdue. I think we should, well, based on what we previously said in other episodes, it's timely that we address it with an entire episode where we can go into more detail and the issue itself instead of just dressing over it like we did for the New Year's. So I'm glad that we actually took the decision to address this today's episode.
yes, because really the what I've seen is that especially those that have died, it really impacted a lot of people because I personally knew Sherwin and it came as a shocker to a lot of people, and a lot of people are still grieving and whatnot. And it's just kind of sad because when you think about it, it wasn't even a situation where that seemed, like so serious where
Right,
something
right.
like that had to happen.
And even in the area it happened, you normally don't hear of serious road incidents in
Yeah.
that area because that's a heavy populated area and so forth. So you don't normally hear of serious incidents and everything. Right in the middle of Goodwill, I mean, not
I know, and I mean, investigations are still going on, but
right.
I feel like again, these things could probably be escalated if we probably had the right things in place. So like security cameras, traffic lights, and those kinds of stuff. But as always, we remain backward.
Yeah, I think we need to approach it on a comprehensive level,
Mhm.
starting even from before people get their license and so forth, and just who we allow, how we get to allow persons to attain licenses and how we deem vehicles to be roadworthy and all sort of stuff. I'm sure we're gonna go into detail in the episode more in the episode, but yeah, a lot of useless incidents, accidents, deaths, things that can be easily prevented if we just had stricter laws, stricter enforcement, and a little bit more awareness by the general public or the drivers, the pedestrians, road users. I mean, the last major accident over the carnivals, Pat Henry, I think, he's a very popular person, so it touched a lot of people for sure. We saw the candlelight vigil happening a few days later, a number of people showed up. It is just something that we don't want to experience too often. Nobody wants to lose a loved one, and it's in manner in which the person a great actor because he's a very popular with mine, but great that is somebody's son and guy all upon together
You sounding a little bit
distorted.
distorted. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know. Should I carry on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like I was saying, so he's like somebody's son. He from all accounts, he had a very huge future ahead. He just became a lawyer, I think last year, year before last, and he just began practicing. So there was a lot expected from him, and to see that life being lost, something that could have been easily prevented if so. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's, so I always try to be very, very careful on the road. I always buckle up my seatbelt, even if people think that seatbelts are not a cool thing, but I still do it. And it's just basically to ensure that I'm safe on the road, as safe as can be.
Yeah, because even here, something like seat belts, those things are enforced. They kind of had their own rise in accidents as well. And just recently in Parliament, they put even stricter laws to be enforced just to try and reduce the amount of accidents they're having and so on. Something as simple as making sure that you have a car seat in your vehicle for your children. Otherwise, you'd pay like a $500 fine. So it's just about making sure that we have the right things in place for that. For example, I saw something. One of the I think it was DNO post a article basically saying that someone who was charged for causing death by dangerous driving is now a free man. Apparently, and it seems like three people died in that accident. And
Okay.
based on it just said that the lawyer asserted that the prosecution case does not support a guilty verdict. So the judge was then ordered to return a not guilty verdict. And then
Well, it
that's
goes
it.
back. It goes back to the investigation and how we take
Yeah,
evidence at the crime scene. So if it was not done in a manner in which the court can use it to find the person guilty, then you have to return a not guilty. But it doesn't mean that the person is not did not do the offense, or it's just that based on the laws and procedure, the person has to be found not guilty. And we have a lot of incidents like that, not only in relation to accidents or road accidents, but also in terms of other type of cases. So I think our whole evidence system and the chain of evidence, how we collect evidence and so on, how we present evidence in the courts, it leaves a lot to be desired.
yeah, because another post someone made. Well, that one was a letter to the editor, from for Dominica breaking news, I believe, and they were saying that their vehicle was in a hit and run, and every day they contacting traffic, and up to now nobody like getting back to them about the situation and so on. So it's like, how are we even dealing with this stuff? The officials don't seem to really be bothered about what's going on, much less for the citizens, because we have a lot of reckless driving. People just don't care when you see they come on the road, and they don't care. And to make it worse, the no one is enforcing anything, so they know they can just get away with it. So I'm not even sure how we'd have to proceed. Oh, 1 second, guys. It seems Taylor is having some issues.
Yeah.
I really checking it. I look like you stick on the screen.
Huh?
I said I was really checking like it looked like you had stick on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I saw you stick too, so I just had to refresh.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, you get into a hit and run, and you would think that, the people at traffic would take entries and would be looking into the situation and whatnot, and yet still they are the ones who have to be contacting traffic every day, and you're not getting any response from them and whatnot. It just it's like,
Yeah,
what are we really? What are we really? We have to be able to set an example for those in position. Supposed to be able to set an example for the rest of us, and since they seem like they don't even care about what's going on the road, obviously you're going to have the citizens thinking, well, they can just do what they want.
even the level of monitoring, the level of police surveillance, there's a lot to be desired, to be honest. You don't see the police out there unless they're giving traffic tickets at a certain time of the month. You don't see them on the road doing surveillance. You almost always know when they are on the side of the road. It's usually a drug surveillance. They drug
Yeah,
monitoring. It's not tra- vehicular management or anything like that.
yeah,
So in terms of the system, in terms of how we go about enforcing traffic laws and so forth, it just needs a big overhaul, I would say. Maybe the traffic department may need some retooling, restaffing, some yeah. I mean, even for instance, in relation to maybe some even this, how I'd say it, relocation of the office. They are located on high streets, yes, but they need some outposts or around the
yeah,
Canefield, maybe in Newtown, so that they are always on the beats. I mean, if a major accident happens and the traffic office is closed, because they operate at normal during normal working hours, and you have a major
yeah,
accident in the evening or early in the morning. It takes a long while to get a response from traffic. Sometimes even the whole day may pass and not even an ideal response to the incident. So it it needs some restructuring, I believe, to effectively serve people in 2025.
yeah. They should definitely have people, on call overnight in case of incidents and so on, because I mean they need to be there on the spot getting the information. And I
Yeah,
mean
but that office should not be a 8 to 4, 9 to 5 job. They should probably have a shift system, and like I said, they have outposts in various the major communities that deal with traffic incidents. For instance, Canefield doesn't have a police station. The police station is in Mao, but I think an traffic department should have an outpost in Canefield. So in case there's a major, because that's the area where you normally have a lot of
yeah,
road incidents, they should have an outpost in Canefield so that they can do some better monitoring of the traffic, surveillance. They can probably do testing of persons. That's one of the things we don't have. We don't have sobriety tests during major fetting periods of the year. We should be doing that. Police should be on the roadsides monitoring drivers, alcohol levels, for breathalyzers and so forth. It's 2025. A breathalyzer is not a difficult thing to get. From I don't believe in any police. Our police don't use that. I've never heard of our police testing anybody for alcohol levels while driving or anything. Anything. It's just I don't know what we know. Why not modernizing our systems? There's tools and
yeah,
technology.
because I mean you go in next door to you in St. Lucia, and you see they have traffic lights and so on, they have their security cameras set up and so on, and then we don't even have any of those things back home, and we really need them, especially in those hot spots, Canefield and places that really prone to accidents and whatnot, so that if something occurs, they can look at the footage and say, okay, that's what happened, and
Yeah, sometimes you have to
etc.
rely on private and businesses footage, which I find is crazy. There should be a comprehensive system of CCTV cameras across
Yeah,
Dominica that the police can monitor street activity. It helps them
yeah,
with their job. I don't understand why
and
we're not getting more.
yeah, and that's a great way for them to be able to see, okay, who shouldn't be on the road. because they know who license expire and whatnot. If they're watching the security camera and they're seeing that license plate on the road every day, you know,
Right,
so
right,
it's,
right.
yeah, simple things like that you can help them with, but we should be having security on the road regularly because for something as simple as using your seatbelt, there's literally that you would never that it rarely the case where you just see police on the road for you to say, okay, let you put your seatbelt or
And
anything like
the thing is, we have had campaigns about those things in the past, even for in terms of the bikers and helmets too. But once the campaigns are over, it seems like the monitoring stops. People go back to their daily lives. But the police job is to enforce those laws, so they should be
that.
daily looking at that. There are too many persons riding without helmets. There are too many drivers driving without seat belts. Like you said, the car seats for the children. Sometimes you see the children on the front seats. You see the children on the driver's laps holding the steering wheels. That's this. I don't want to say anything, but yeah,
Hey,
we just allow
right.
too much free fall. People to just do what they want. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, if it's the case where, they feel like, maybe they don't have enough people to be patrolling the streets or whatnot for those kind of things, install the cameras. When you
Right,
install the
exactly.
cameras,
That's why technology is here to help.
yeah,
In other countries in terms of traffic law, sometimes it's just a sensor that they have on the roadside, and it captures the license plate, it captures the speeding, the in terms of the measuring the speed, and then you get a bill in your mail and tells you, oh, you owe whatever
yes,
amount of money for speeding, and
yeah,
you
because
never see a police to take you to or anything. You get your picture of your license plate at the wherever the sensor is, and that's it. And you have to pay that bill. We have to move up, modernize the system. If that is all it takes to ensure we save lives and we reduce traffic incidents, then so be it. If it means to invest in 100,000 or much ever money to put CCTVs and sensors across the place, and we don't have to do all the island at the same time. We can it can be done in stages. So
yeah,
I,
because I mean, when I was in England, when you see your vehicle pass and less because it have certain vehicles that kind of drive in certain areas,
areas, right, right, right,
yeah,
yeah.
areas they call low emission zones and whatnot. So if your vehicle not meant to be driving there, they catching your vehicle on the camera and then they sending you a bill, for driving in that area.
Yes, yes, we can move in that direction. And it's the thing that will be automated, so there's no biasness in it, because once the sensor pick you up, your bill is being printed, and that's it.
Yes,
And you get your bill in the mail, and every vehicle has to have a proper address. So the license, once the license plate is captured, it is attached to an address. You get your bill in the mail, and that's it. You pay your bill at the end of the month for whatever period they gave you to pay your bill. Or if you want to go to the court system, traffic court, and challenge it. But at the end of the day, it's technology that capture you, so you have no choice. Unless you can prove that the technology is faulty, then you have to pay that bill.
yeah, because I mean, imagine you getting a bill every time the camera catch you not having your seatbelt on.
Seatbelt, exactly.
Hey, people must start putting your
You'll
seatbelt.
see how quickly we put on our seatbelts
Yeah.
and install car seats and so forth. Yeah,
The only thing somebody might say is that because when they had start putting up the poles with the solar lights for
right.
night lights on the street and so on, people started stealing them.
Yeah, but
So
that was mainly done in the rural community. But if you start with the main traffic is along the west coast, and the main traffic is all within the city. If you start enforcing that within the city gradually and spread it across the island, gradually our people will conform. We like our whip on our back. So when you see you start getting those invoices in the mail and you have to pay them, you will see how fast we will conform.
yeah, And you can always set them up in ways where it may be not so visible to people for them to say, okay, let me try and take that
Exactly.
and so on.
And if you need for a sensor, you can almost hide a sensor on a utility pole or something, so that nobody knows it's there. But it takes a picture, measures the speed limits, so that kind of thing. So if you are in violation, you get your invoice and you pay, and that's it.
Yeah, so
There are other things that I think we can do. Like we mentioned in the New Year's episode, things like speed bumps, a lot more signage on the street, traffic lights. We don't have traffic. The entire island is not one traffic light. We have so many intersections. I think a lot of them we need to improve with the intersections. If it means roundabout, if we don't want to put street lights, installs roundabouts that can control the flow of traffic instead of just having people stopping at intersection, having to look left, right, and all kind of directions before you. That doesn't help in terms. It doesn't help that we don't have those things in place. I think we need to move towards improving our streets. Lighting is also a very very important issue. A lot of our streets are poorly lit, so you drive
yeah,
in. Some you don't even see a vehicle coming in your direction because the road so dark. And sometimes the vehicles themselves don't even have proper lights. They don't have their bright not working or their dim one off, one on, that kind of thing. So yeah, we can't leave it up to people who we have to police the people. People won't police themselves. So yeah.
yeah, that's true. And like based on because I did, you know, look into the laws and so on, and they say causing death by reckless driving, you can get up to 10 years. But I mean, I don't think I've ever really heard a case where that even happened. Like,
The thing is, especially here, things get tied up in the legal system so much that the case takes so much time to call, and sometimes the parties get disinterested, so they don't show up to court to give evidence. So you hardly hear. To be honest, I've never heard of anybody getting any serious jail time or even a fine in relation to any traffic incident. The last case I can recall in terms of going to court was there was an incident that happened at Kenfield. That was with the guy who worked at DBS Radio, and it took years for that case to call. And in the end, the guy got off with a not guilty. I mean, I do not know the entire facts of the case, but it just took too long. My point is, it took too long to get to the point of a verdict, and people get disinterested. People lose faith in the system, and that's one thing you don't want. When you see people lose faith in a system, then it's all hell will break loose.
yeah, and that's the thing too, is like, okay, if we have a situation like that, I mean, that just shows how far back our problem is, because
Yes,
even
yes.
if the justice system, I mean, come on, I mean, first we have to fix the laws, then we still have to what we have to make sure we have the proper lawyers and so on, then we have to make sure the people working at traffic.
Imagine, I remember when I went to grammar school, I was like 90s, in the 90s, early 90s, right in front of grammar school, there was a bus that hit a student right there. And that never went anywhere beyond the incident itself. There was no court case, nothing. Um,
Wow.
I remember the guy was, I think, I was in third form, and the student was in first or second form. And I don't remember anything happening during the time we were in school in terms of a court case or anything. And I think he broke it. Well, he had a fracture on his arm and some bruises on his face. I don't remember any major thing. So you can imagine how long we need to improve our system of investigation, our system of just, and we're just not delivering. Um, to be
Yes.
honest, I don't think we will. Looking at it, I don't think we'll deliver a good road system in the next 5 to 10 years. I don't know. Because that's not something that we readily invest in.
because
besides the street lights that were done across the island, the solar lights, there have not been many major road improvements or in terms of safety that is there. Because I don't remember any improvements in our road in terms of safety. I don't remember nothing major in terms of street lights or and even the painting of the street signs on the roads takes forever. Some of these signs have disappeared completely. If you're not aware of there being a stop sign or some a turn left or turn right sign there, you have to drive based on memory. So yeah, because the signs and the symbols
yeah,
are there.
and you're still seeing people complaining about those said signs, especially the signs where you have to what they just call those, the pedestrian
Pedestrian crossing, yes.
yes, because people saying that it's slippery when it's wet and so on.
Yes, yeah, because the type of paint they're using is not road paint. So that's the thing. And so even that is a cause for concern as well. You're walking across a pedestrian crossing, you're trying to hurry across and you slide and you fall and an oncoming vehicle it knocks you down. And even who has access in terms of who have right of way, the vehicle has to stop to give you access to the pedestrian crossing so that you cross. You don't cross before the vehicle gets there and then have to be running across the pedestrian crossing. The vehicle has, but Dominicans believe the pedestrian crossing is their rite of passage, so they can just walk across it at any speed, at any time. But no, the vehicle has the oncoming traffic has to stop and tell and allow you as a pedestrian
Yeah.
to cross.
Yes, so a problem goes really deep. I mean, it's even the case where, I mean, do they even take their license? Because, for example, the same guy you said that, you know, jammed the child in front grammar school, like he was
It
still
was a
driving
bus, you
after,
know, it
right?
was a bus driver. I remember, and I don't remember his license being taken away. I don't remember that. I remember seeing that bus driver on the road. Maybe not the next day, but soon after he was back on the road driving.
Right. So, so many people not getting justice, as well as the fact that those same people are allowed to be back on the road and potentially cause more accidents. So I hope that, from this discussion, something else can be, more discussions will be had and
Yes,
more
definitely.
awareness will be brought to the issue, and maybe something can be done, even if it starts from just each village doing something, seeing where they can make improvements in terms of maybe, lighting or a speed bump or painting their pedestrian signs and so on.
I think that's a very good idea in terms of the communities putting pressure on the traffic department and the police to improve the road signs and signals within their communities. Some because I remember the Rotaract Club, I think, or the Rotary Club, one of them, um, before they used to do the painting of the road signs. I haven't seen that in a little while. But
Oh,
if that
okay.
yeah, but if that can come back, then it will be helpful. I mean, I know our public because it can be stretched too much,
Yeah.
but in terms of saving lives and helping with safety, we all need to put our hands together to do that. And like I mentioned prior, especially the issues of public buildings and so forth, like schools, health centers, and so forth. I think that there should be speed bumps up when you approach any public building. I think we should also have adequate signage so that you know that you're approaching a school, you're in a school zone, you're in a health zone, whatever. You just
Yes.
um, it is sick people who go to health center. Health people don't really go to health centers in Dominica, although we're trying to get health and wellness by going on. But people who have issues with their health don't move at the same pace as healthy people. So you have to be adequate caution when you're approaching buildings like that. So I think in terms of that's where I think we can even start the campaign. Make sure that all our schools and all our public buildings there's adequate speed bumps, speed humps, or adequate signage when you're approaching those, and then gradually build the campaign to incorporate more action.
Absolutely. And in terms of Canfield Highway, do you think that if we probably put a speed bump there?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a speed bump there, but I think more monitoring should be done before you approach the highway. So especially when we have things like the fetting season, I
Mm-hmm.
think police should be on the road doing on the beats. We call it on the beat. They should be doing their monitoring, just breathalyzer tests. There's no reason why during the carnival season there's not monitoring of people alcohol levels, because we know that can lead to a lot of issues in terms of accidents. So
Yes.
the police should be out and about, making sure that the drivers of the vehicles and their blood alcohol levels are below the legal limit. I'm not too sure if we have a legal limit, but I think we should establish a limit in terms of blood alcohol level and get that into the law books if it's not in there already, and then work towards getting the police the necessary resources to do that, those breathalyzer tests, and control and monitor drunk driving, because that in itself would help. And I think if we Dominica see that happening, then they will focus on designated drivers, and that can decrease the level of road incidents.
Absolutely. And, I hope everyone watching takes away something important from this episode, and that it maybe moves you to, probably inquire in your community about what can be done to improve the road safety in your community. Start small. And, we hope everyone remains safe, and we send our sympathies to all those who have lost their loved ones this year from, accidents and so on. And that's a wrap on our episode of Dread and the Shabin. We hope you found this episode informative and maybe a little thought provoking.
I definitely think if anybody listens to this episode, they will leave with some very good points in terms of points to take forward in terms of advocacy and raising awareness. I'm hoping our voices that doesn't fall on deaf ears, but I'm hoping it sows a seed that can germinate, and some action can be taken.
Okay, guys, and if you have any recommendations or suggestions and so on, please leave it in the comments, and feel free to reach out to us as well if you probably don't want to post a comment publicly. Okay, have a good night or good
Have a good night.
morning
Have a good
or
night.
good afternoon.
See you all soon.
Eh,